and welcome to the show. It is me, JP. This is JP's product pick of the week. It's Tuesday, and thank you so much for stopping by. Sorry, I'm about a minute late or so because I was having technical troubles getting the Facebook to launch, and it just didn't want to. So sorry about that. But if you are in YouTube land or Twitch or LinkedIn Learning or some of our other places, you're in luck because I think we're broadcasting. Let's see, is it yelling at me about bitrate? We'll see how we do. Let me know if there's any technical issues. Also, let me know if there's any audio issues. I did some adjustments to my audio setup. Someone said that they had heard the audio popping in and out the other day, and hopefully we've got that all settled. Who am I talking to? Who do I keep looking at? It's you. We've got chats going on. We have a YouTube chat. We have our chat over in our Discord. Hello over in YouTube to Jeff Hunt and Raj Tiwari and Robert Cochran, Foamy Guy, hello. Dave Odessa, Betagraf Abdelhagen, Dana Kamp, and let me see if there are any questions in here. Let's see. No, we're good. Our chat over on the Discord, by the way, I notice I've adjusted some lighting too, and my hand is going to get real hot if I put it that way, but I didn't want to reflect off of that monitor today, so we'll go back to normal next week. Our chat over on our Discord, that's at adafruit.it/discord. Look for this right here, the live broadcast chat channel. It's that one right there. Hello to Thin Man, John Nodge, Johnny Bergdahl, Starman, Blitz City DIY, Jim Hendrickson, Mike P, Paul Cutler, C. Grover, hello. Thanks for all of y'all popping in. Hey, Sam J. Ohio. Joining late, that's okay. Rufus, hello, welcome. So let's get this going. What do we have? I've got a new product pick for you. You can go check it out right now in that place, that URL, that QR code. If you head there, that's the product page. That's where you'll find this week's product pick has been discounted, 50% off. You will find this show is being streamed from inside the product page. So you can go check it out yourself right now. And I'm going to have Lady Ada tell us about it from her new segment on Ask an Engineer just a little while ago. So please take it away, Lady Ada.
The HSTX out video PiCowBell. So it's another cowbell. These are accessories that fit on top of a Raspberry Pi Pico. The HSTX out video PiCowBell. So it's another cowbell. These are accessories that fit on top of a Raspberry Pi Pico or Pico 2 or Pico 2W or whatever future board the Raspberry Pi Foundation comes up with. And it uses the HSTX pins. So those are specifically for the Pico 2 to let you generate video. And this is one of the cool new additions of the RP2350 chip that's in the Pico 2 and the Pico 2W. It has the ability to do video. Here's a couple clips just showing some video demos. And it doesn't require using PIO peripherals. It doesn't require using a lot of CPU time. It kind of does it all for you.
Maker badges.
Yeah, hexagons.
Maker badges.
And text and fishes and more. You could still use this with a Raspberry Pi Pico 1 if you wanted to, but you would only be able to use it with the PIO peripheral. You wouldn't get like that extra boost of HSTX. So it's just that this uses the specific pins that the HSTX peripheral is on. So basically, you can use it as the Pico 1 if you want, but if you want that extra boost of capability, and also, honestly, the Pico 2 has more RAM, which you really need when you're doing video because you have to buffer the entire image. Recommend this. There's also, in the middle, I added, if you see the 5-volt D- D+ ground, I added some pins that you could use, especially with the Pico 2 because it has that extra processing capability in PIO, to also do USB host. So that's kind of fun because now you can have video and you can have a keyboard or a mouse, or if you can connect a hub, you can actually have both. So you can actually do like little mini computer stuff with a Pico 2 or Pico 2W. So, we still are going to stock our original DVI cowbell, but this is kind of what we're going to push people towards if you want to do video projects on the Raspberry Pi Pico.
Yeah, that's right. That's it right there. Look, that is the product pick of the week this week. It is the HSTX DVI/HDMI video output PiCowBell for Pico 2 or Pico. So this is a PiCowBell, which means it's an accessory that you can add onto a Pico. You can put it on top, you can put it under, you can put it side by side, you can wire them on a breadboard any way you like. I'll show you it on a little Pico tripler that I have for the demo today, but there's a lot of ways to arrange these. So it is Pico shaped. Works best with Pico 2, RP2350, gives us speed, gives us RAM, and gives us dedicated pins for the HSTX peripheral that we can use to send video out over that little pad right there, over that little connector, which is a mini HDMI connector. So you'll want to get a mini HDMI to HDMI cable or an adapter. We have both of those linked on the page. And this has a few extra really nice features. So it has a reset button built onto it, so you can use reset and boot if you're trying to restart the board from a Pico, which lacks the reset button. It has a little slide switch on GPIO pin 3. In fact, while I talk about it, let me bring up this nice image here. So you can see it's got the mini HDMI connector there for DVI video output. It has the slide switch right here for pin 3 GPIO. You can use that in your code any way you want to. We have the reset button on there. We have a nice STEMMA QT port output, so you can do I2C stuff. And we have a whole bunch of the GPIO pins and ground pins duplicated, so you can set this onto your Pico or under your Pico, however you want, and still have pins to wire to. Let me check my notes. What else do we have on here? There is a USB host broken out using USB host PIO. We have data plus, data minus, power, ground, so that you can plug in a mouse, plug in a keyboard, use a hub, and plug in both. So as Lady Ada said, you can use this for mini computer types of projects, little maybe game emulator types of projects. And I think, yeah, oh, and then on top of the DVI video output over mini HDMI connector, we do also have 3 other special HDMI pins broken out. So you have the CEC, you've got utility, and you've got plug detection. So those are all things that you can do to make your video output projects shine. Let's go to the product page right here so you can see. I'll refresh these. We had 100 of these stashed. We still have them in stock, so that's great. You can get them for $3.48 right now. It's a great add-on for your projects. If you've ever wanted to do experimentation with video out, you can use this in CircuitPython. You can use this in Arduino. You can use this in MicroPython, maybe some other ways to code that. And also you'll see as you scroll down here, there are some links to info on doing DVI output. I will mention, while this is designed expressly for the HSTX pins for DVI out on the RP2350, you can still use your RP2040 Pico projects and PiCoW because the PIO pins will work. So you can do PIO DVI video out, even better HSTX video out. If you keep scrolling on here, you will see we've got a link to the primary Learn guide. If you go check this out, there's an overview, there's a nice pinout to let you know everything that you can plug into and connect to, all of those pin assignments. And then we have some getting started inside of CircuitPython as well as getting started in Arduino here. And this will let you know details of the pin assignments, some libraries to get, and some sample code that you can use. I'll show you a little example that I have on, let me go to this, this down shooter here for a moment. So here what I've got, so there's Pico 2 on the side. I actually happen to be using this Pimeroni Pico Plus 2 just because it was handy and convenient. I have some different stuff on this one. But any Pico shaped device that conforms to the pinout would work. And then here you can see I've got my HSTX DVI PiCowBell connected here on this PiCowBell tripler. There I've got mini HDMI to HDMI cable, and if you look behind me here, I have a nice monitor that I'm going to plug in my HDMI cable into a little extender that I have, a little port extender. And there you can see this is running in Arduino using some DVI output code. I'll show you what that looks like in a moment. And so I'm able to do some pretty nice frame rates. Most of these, to keep the frame rate up, are running at 320/240 and then just get pixel doubled up to 640/480. So that's what this monitor is receiving. Here's a nice little diffusion test. I've got the 3D wireframe cube and the little spiral gradient tunnel. Also sort of demo scene style effects. So there are some examples of similar stuff to this in the Arduino library, the Adafruit HSTX video library. And I was able to generate these, taking that code, feeding it into Claude AI, and generating some demo scene style graphics there. And we can also do graphics inside of CircuitPython. So let me first show you just some little quickie in Arduino. This is the simpletest.ino. So once you've installed that HSTX library, HSTX, you'll see here's the Adafruit DVI HSTX by Jeff Epler. Install that, and that will give you some examples as well as the library. And here you can see this is designed for a few scenarios. So if it's a Feather RP2350 with HSTX, if it's a Metro, or if it's the Raspberry Pi Pico using, or Pico 2 using this HSTX CowBell, we have a very specific pin configuration. So you don't need to know the specific pins there. That will set it up for you. And then I have my display being set up with this 320/240 resolution. I could try it at 640/480, but it's just going to slow things down, and it's not much of a visual difference. So this example here will just draw some random lines on the screen. I've also got a, let me pause this. So I'm going to pull power, and I'll just go to a full, let me go to a full view of that for a second. So actually, let me plug this back in. You can see when this starts up, I just have these 3 video demo examples. This tells me it's DVI in at 640/480. And so this will cycle for 17 seconds was what I decided was the optimal demo time per. So after 17 seconds, this will swap to this really neat diffusion plasma demo. And then in a moment, that'll switch out to the 3D wireframe cube. Keep an eye on that. There we go. So I'm going to unplug this, and I will swap out, and actually, I've shown this trick before. I'm going to use a little spudger to pry up, just because there are so many header pins on these Picos that they can become difficult to lift up out of anything they're plugged into, really. So I like this little plastic spudger. Oh, I wasn't showing you that, sorry. Let me switch to, should check my camera. Switch to a down view. So I just use this little spudger to pry that one out, because they're hard to lift out otherwise. So get this lined up. Here's a Pico 2. Let me find a micro B USB cable. That's going to be easier said than done. Nope, that's Lightning. That's USB-C. USB-C. Hold on. I know I've got one over here. I think I'm gonna, this is a short cable. I think I'm just gonna run it off of a battery. That should work. A little micro USB cable. It's the one downside of the Raspberry Pi branded Picos is the micro B. Okay, so plug that in. This is a really nice demo. Let me go to back to this full screen. Really nice demo in CircuitPython. So if I switch over to Z here, and I'll show you this in a second. I'm just going to open up the code that's running on here. Oh, that'll only work, of course. Oh, I don't need to. You know what? I'm going to go to a web page for that. Okay, so you can see here we have this kind of nice spirograph line screensaver. And this is a really neat playground, Learn Guide playground by Sam Blenny. Let me go back to this real quick. So on Adafruit Learn, if you go to the playground and look for Sam Blenny or Fruit Jam Lines Screensaver, this is a really nice demo that Sam came up with for the Fruit Jam, but that code is very transportable over to the Pico. They're both RP2350, both using HSTX. So in this case, I just changed out some pin numbers. So here in the code, I believe right here, there's this frame buffer is set up with the clock pin, clock down, red, up, down, green, et cetera, et cetera. All of those pins I just swapped out for the actual pin numbers, which isn't hard to do, and I can post that if someone's interested later. But this is a demo of it running to the HSTX DVI output off of CircuitPython and then up to my HDMI monitor. So a couple examples of getting your video out into the real world onto a real monitor, both in Arduino and CircuitPython, which is pretty cool. Let's see, let's take a moment and see if there's any questions. Jeff Hunt had asked, oh, Foamy Guy answered, Jeff Hunt, the Pico 2W should have Pico DVI module. Make sure you have the latest version of CircuitPython. They were getting an error, so yeah, they'll try to figure that out there. Yeah, so this should work on Pico, PiCowW, Pico 2, Pico 2W, all of those, and you're going to get faster performance with the RP2350 based ones. It'll be HSTX rather than PIO, freeing up PIO. I should say, I don't know if that's going to be faster or not, but that does free up the PIO. So anyone who knows in the chat, let me know, is HSTX actually faster than the PIO, or is it just give us a dedicated line so that we can still use PIO? And yes, I think as someone was saying, this looks really nice, really good for CircuitPython, really impressive for an interpreted language. You are going to get faster performance using the Arduino examples there. Just that's the nature of that beast. So let me unplug and replug this right here. So there is that. Also a Pico 2. This Pimeroni one is nice because of USB-C, extra memory, and a couple of other niceties. Really nice silk screen on it too. Reset and boot button right on the top. So there you go. So that's that running up there in a bigger screen. All right. I don't think I've got anything else, so I'll just remind you, if you want to go grab one, head to that URL. It's product 6363, and that QR code right there will take you to it. And let's finish this up. So that right there, that's my product pick of the week this week. It is the HSTX DVI video out. What is it? It is the HSTX DVI PiCowBell for Pico and Pico 2. Phew! For Adafruit Industries, I'm John Park. This has been JP's product pick of the week. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.